Puppet Combo just released Bloodwash, a slasher horror game with an intriguing story. The perpetrator, who is known as the Womb Reaper, has a strange agenda against pregnant young women, who are usually still at college. The Womb Killer is reportedly known to have killed several girls in a brutal manner, ripping their fetuses out of their lifeless bodies, hence why he has been referred to as the Womb Reaper. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator. You can follow me on Twitter and send me game suggestions, and you could also consider becoming a member and enjoy exclusive content. This video will contain spoilers about the story. With that said, let's begin. Sarah is a college student who lives with her deadbeat alcoholic boyfriend, Liam. As she comes back from a tough day at college, dealing with a moody lecturer and a complex exam, she's left with a mess of a house, with items haphazardly scattered around the rundown cheap apartment.
What a day. Professor Watt was his usual miserable self and that test was a killer. Hopefully I can just relax and... Of course, Liam didn't do the laundry or clean. I'll have to do a load of laundry. I have an interview for a job tomorrow and have nothing to wear. I'll gather these clothes up and head to the laundry room in the basement. I'm going to have to talk to Liam later. I'm too upset and tired to go through it again. He's going to have to pull it together for this baby.
Sarah notes that she has a job interview tomorrow, presumably the only way they can afford this apartment, as Liam is employed, spending his time drinking. Liam was supposed to do the laundry, but as he hasn't, Sarah is left with no other option than to do it herself, as she has nothing clean to wear for tomorrow's interview. She takes the dirty clothes thrown on the ground and heads to the laundry room in the basement of the building, which is shared between the tenants. As she gets there, she notices that the washing machine is out of order, making her go to a state of panic. As Sarah explores the building, she finds a newspaper article about a serial killer on the loose, given the name of Womb Reaper, as the killer targets pregnant women and cuts out their fetus out of their body and kidnaps them. 4 victims had already been reported, and people are suggested to be on the lookout. On her way back to the apartment, being defeated, she encounters Stan, their friendly neighbor who offers his support to Sarah just in case things go out of hand with her and her boyfriend Liam, who apparently is also abusive towards her when he's drunk, which is almost always. Sarah informs Stan about the conundrum she is in, with the washing machine out of order and a job interview tomorrow morning, which Stan provides the details of a 24/7 laundromat she can use, which is just outside of the town. Sarah quickly takes her purse and heads to the bus stop, not to miss the last night bus. While waiting, she notices a car slowing down in front of her, being very suspicious. The bus soon arrives and Sarah gets on it, having a quick encounter with the extremely unpleasant and judgmental bus driver.
Not sure I believe that. Pretty late to be doing laundry. Hey, if you're looking to score, I have a good deal just for a pretty little thing like you. You won't even have to pay cash if you know what I mean.
How about you just drive the bus and I'll pretend you're not a desperate loser.
Whatever, bitch. Sit the fuck down so I can get this piece of junk rolling again.
She takes a seat on the only clean chair she finds and awaits her bus stop. While on the bus, a creepy man stands beside her chair and patiently waits, when suddenly he gets too close for comfort and insists on sitting next to Sarah. Sarah refuses as the entire bus is empty with many seats, with what the man requesting being very abnormal, when suddenly he keeps on repeating in an uneasy tone that Sarah will be the next victim of the Womb Reaper.
You're going to die tonight. I've seen it. Tonight is your last night on Earth. You are walking straight into your doom. Can't you see that? You and that child inside you.
How did you...
You will be found, just like all the others. Ripped open, your insides displayed for all the angels above to look down and see.
The boss arrives at the laundromat, with her quickly getting away from the creepy man. The time is around 8:30 p.m., with the shops nearby close to closure. In the laundromat, Sarah speaks to the employee, who informs her that he takes naps at midnight. Therefore, he doesn't like to be bothered if he's not around. Sarah puts her clothes in the washing machine, and while waiting, she speaks to a patron who usually does his washing here. He informs Sarah that there used to be another laundromat next door he preferred, which was burnt down due to a massive fire. Apparently, a female employee was caught in the fire and burnt alive, which an investigation was opened due to the suspect circumstances of the way she died, as it seems she was locked in the office room, not letting her escape the fire. The investigation was soon dropped, as no relative or friend came along to pursue the case, and the cops didn't find any sufficient evidence. To kill time, Sarah leaves the laundromat and explores the area. As soon as she leaves, she hears loud child crying noises echoed throughout the empty streets. She notices the same blue car slowing in front of her before while she was waiting for the bus parked in the parking lot, but she dismisses it as anything important, as Sarah doesn't want to concern herself with anything as such. She just wants to get her laundry done and head back home. She explores the 3 open shops, the pizza shop, appliance store, and Peepa store, which is owned by the paranoid Peepa, who's been here for a very long time.
And don't you even think about stealing anything. I have eyes everywhere.
After going back to the laundromat, Sarah finds another newspaper with a report of a suspect called Lewis Kennedy, related to the burning of a next-door laundromat. Asking the patron about Lewis, he informs Sarah that they used to be pals and that he owned the burnt-down laundromat, who suddenly disappeared. He further explains that a woman used to work there who got pregnant, whom the patron found attractive.
Don't know how you got that, but yeah, I knew Lewis. He owned the old laundromat that burnt down. We were buds, but he disappeared one day.
Going to the appliance store, the manager denies to know anything about the newspaper reports, as he just recently opened, but that he hears the strange baby cries and screams outside, which are quite frequent. He mentions that he doesn't believe it actually comes from a baby, but instead a psychopathic grown person. After exiting the store, Sarah gets startled by an old woman who mentions that Sarah resembles a specific someone who isn't there anymore. A woman that was related to this old lady, maybe her daughter, as she mentions that she lost her. The old woman then suddenly comes to an abrupt silence, withholding any further information.
Oh, she used to be so beautiful, but I've lost her. It's been so long now, and I can't find her.
Oh, did you know one of the girls who went missing around here? Ma'am? I guess she's done talking.
Going to Peepa's store, he mentions that there might be some correlation between the missing victims of the Womb Ripper and the laundromat fire, as since it burned down, the gruesome murders and disappearances started occurring. Peepa further explains that Lewis Kennedy was a perverted man who went after younger girls. He believes the rumor that he was the one who impregnated the employee working in his laundromat that burned down. Later on, Sarah finds a photo of a man and a woman standing next to each other, with behind of the photo having the name Samantha written on it. The pizza shop cashier informs Sarah that the girl is called Samantha Rhodes and she used to go to school with him, before she got knocked up and went missing. After showing the photo to Peepa, he explains that the man is Lewis, which in a way confirms that they had some sort of close relationship. After Sarah's laundry is done, she notices that the machine was faulty and her clothes didn't dry. She goes to the laundromat till to request some more quarters to use another dryer when she notices some blood smeared on the walls. As she goes into the till to investigate, she sees the dying body of the employee fall from the ceiling, being covered in blood, ripped almost in pieces. She tries to call 911, but the line suddenly drops.
My name is Sarah. You need to send someone now. I'm at the... Shit.
"20 minutes later, the cop arrives with the perspective changing to Officer Burton, who goes to investigate the store's complex with only the laundromat and the complex offices open at this time. He hears the same unsettling baby cries and screams, getting him on his guard. He explores the offices, where he finds an undressed individual playing with a lifeless body of a fetus. The lights then suddenly turn off, and the perpetrator disappears. After some exploration, he comes across an office worker who begs the officer for help, but before he can do anything, the office worker gets attacked by the womb ripper and brutally murders him with a knife. The womb ripper locks the door, going into hiding. The officer then takes the initiative and climbs into the vent ducts and tries to navigate his way out. But as soon as he nears an exit, the womb ripper, wearing a ripped out baby's face as mask, comes in through the vent cover and slashes the cop to death. The perspective then changes to Sarah, who grows worried after waiting for such a long time. She looks out of the till and sees the womb ripper lifting the patron up with only one arm and stabbing him to death, showing great strength. It also appears as if the ripper is a female, as she has feminine features. But that is up for debate. Sarah nervously stays hidden and quickly thinks of a way to escape. As the main door is locked, Sarah uses a hammer to break down a recently installed plaster wall. It directly leads to the next door laundromat, which was burnt down. Finding a newspaper nearby, she reads that the 45-year-old Lewis Kennedy was the main suspect of arson and kidnapping or even possible murder of Samantha Rhodes, whom the police couldn't find after going missing. Lewis coincidentally went missing right after as well, causing the police to issue a warning for all residents in the area to keep a lookout, considering Lewis as potentially dangerous. Sarah then comes across a room lit by candles and covered with missing woman posters, indicating that the womb ripper's victims surpass way over the estimated numbers. Ripper herself then tries to force herself in the room, going after Sarah, as she fits the bill to be her next victim, as she is young and pregnant. Sarah manages to escape and comes across a corpse with cut-out baby faces on the table nearby, showing what the Ripper wears as a face mask to cover her identity. She reads from this corpse's diary that she was a pregnant girl who was forced to swallow a key. Sarah retrieves a scalpel and cuts out the key from her stomach, which helps her open a door. After a short walk, Sarah finds the corpse of Lewis Kennedy, who has been rotting for some years in here. This proves to Sarah that despite what she previously thought, the Ripper is not Lewis, but someone else. Sarah manages to find a gun and witnesses a room with satanic symbolism, and a cut-open corpse and a baby crib, as if the Ripper intended to conduct some sort of a ritual. After a challenging battle, Sarah manages to gun down the Ripper and learns about the true identity of who this brutal killer is. Samantha Rhodes is locked in the laundromat office room, and the laundromat is set ablaze by Lewis Kennedy as he didn't want to take responsibility for the child he put inside Samantha. To destroy any sign of the scandal, he sets the place on fire and presumably takes the insurance money. To his dismay, Samantha somehow survives the fire while sustaining severe burns and losing her child as an aftermath. This drives Samantha insane, who kills Lewis in revenge and goes after women in similar age bracket who are pregnant. She cuts out their babies and tries to play with them to fill the void of the child she lost. The satanic symbolism with the baby crib and hung up corpse may suggest that somehow she tried to conduct a ritual and bring a child to life, so she could be a mother she so desperately wanted to be. The old woman Sarah met earlier as well seems to have been the mother of Samantha, who still roams the area she presumably was reported dead in, having had lost her mind, as Samantha was all she had. The old woman walks around silently, being lost in her own thoughts of what-ifs and could-haves.
It all makes sense now. Lewis Kennedy wasn't killing all those women. It was Samantha. After Lewis locked her in the laundromat and burned it down, she survived. And she must have lost her baby, though. With almost being killed, losing her child, and being terribly burned, she completely snapped. She killed Lewis, and then set her sights on killing others who had something she didn't. Oh, God.
The night comes to an end, with Sarah presumably never forgetting her encounter, and at least sustaining some sort of paranoia, if not long-term PTSD. Soon after, Samantha's body is taken to an autopsy room for Doug to examine. As he tries to do so, the lights go off. He leaves the room to change the fuse, and when he returns, the body has gone missing. In panic, Doug rushes to leave the premises, but Samantha slides out from one of the morgue beds and slashes Doug to death. This only makes the womb ripper more dangerous and more aware of her surroundings, not to make the same mistakes again. With pregnant young girls being at risk of losing their lives and their children. That's about it for today's video, folks. If you enjoyed it, make sure to stay tuned for more videos by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. You can also follow me on Twitter and send me game suggestions, which I might cover. It's been your host Star. Till the next video, have a fantastic day.